I'm a Jewish doctor. I've been to Gaza. I saw what Israel has been doing in violation of all international law and human rights to Gaza for 16 years before I went there.
Let's go upstairs and chant, free, free the American hostages that were taken by the savages that attacked Israel and committed war crimes on October 7th.
Israel has killed 30,000 people. Is that not savage, sir? You're supporting genocide. There's a place for you in The Hague.
Wow. Okay. This got 3 million views and 500,000 people like this. This idiocy. The guy, you see how many seconds was this? 25 seconds. You see how easy it is to just spread nonsense and falsehood? It takes so much effort to try to show why all of these points are wrong, but it's just so easy to just say BS and just get it spread all over the internet. So let me see how we could dissect this. Okay, let's do this line by line.
I'm a Jewish doctor. I've been to Gaza.
I'm a Jewish doctor. I've been to Gaza. Okay, you being Jewish is irrelevant. You could be Jew or non-Jew, and your points are still nonsense.
I saw what Israel has been doing.
Okay, but why? I saw what Israel has been doing. The why part is important. Okay, the why and the goal.
In violation of all international.
In violation of all international law, all of them, really. Can you name me one? Look at this. In violation of all international law in Gaza, or here's the thing. I do not claim that Israel has not violated international law in Gaza. Okay? I'm not going to make the claim. I am just a person who says that if you are making that claim, you need to back it up by evidence. Here's the thing. You have to speak about these things accurately. You have to be careful with your words. There is violations of international laws by certain soldiers or certain members of the military, and then there's systematic violations of international law ordered from the higher ups in a systematic way throughout your military. And then, so that's one, and then there's two. There's a major difference between these two. And then for each one of these, you need evidence. I'm going to make a claim. I bet you the first one does exist. And there are some Israeli soldiers that are violating international law within Gaza. Okay? I will claim that without evidence. Do you know how I can claim that? Because that happens in every war. Because no army is going to be able to control every freaking soldier. Of course, there are going to be soldiers that are bad actors. Every single war is going to have that. Okay? The question is that if it's being done systematically and ordered from the top, right? And for that, you need evidence. And you don't have evidence for that. And you will not be able to find that evidence because I will bet you that that's not happening. If there is any violations of international law, which I bet you there will be because it's war, some soldiers are not good, right? You have to show it to us with the evidence. And you don't have that. You don't have that. Guys, do you understand that this is a very important difference? Because I bet you at some point there are going to be evidence. They don't have any right now, but at some point there will be some evidence that, oh, this soldier here did something that they shouldn't have done, and that violates international law. Okay? In fact, I would be able to find examples of that better than these anti-Israeli people, right? But that doesn't tell you that Israel as a whole is violating international law. Because if you want to condemn the country as a whole, you have to show that the policy was to let that happen. And here's the thing. Israel is not doing that. Israel is does more than many other countries to try to stop these bad actors. Does more than many other countries. I can tell that when it comes to stopping bad actors, there are some countries that do better than Israel, for example, the United States. But Israel is pretty high up there when it comes to stopping their bad actors from doing what they're doing. Israel is pretty good. So you cannot condemn the entirety of the military. If you want to condemn violations of international laws, you have to condemn that specific soldier. But if you want to condemn the entirety of the operation of the military, you have to show much more evidence than examples here and there. But the interesting thing about this idiot doctor is that he's not even saying there was violations of international law, and he's claiming without evidence. He's also he wants to be extra insane. He wants to be extra stupid by saying there was a violation of all international law. Like basically, he's claiming that if you go look at international law and see every single thing that is, that they have there written as international law in Gaza, Israel has somehow managed to violate every single one of them. Do you understand how insane that is? Do you understand that would be miracle? You need to have divine, godlike powers to be able to go through every single law that we have internationally and make sure that you violate every single one of them. Do you know that would be a miracle? That would be that Israel would have to be like a deity to be able to do that in Gaza. I'm pretty sure there will be some, even if Israel was pure evil, there will be some international law that they will not be able to get to when it comes to violating every single one of them. That is an insane claim. You guys are insane. You guys are just so over the top, and you just exaggerate. So look at how thirsty they are how eager they are to just exaggerate how evil Israel is. They just one up each other. They're just competing about who could say the most insane things about Israel, who could be more exaggerating, who could show Israel as being more evil. Then in this competition, in this virtue signaling competition, they say things that is so insane that I don't even know if they believe it. They just words coming out of their mouth. They're like, how about you just go one extra? How about this? If you want a virtue signal and show that you're a better person because you're more anti-Israeli than the guy right next to you, right? How about you just say like, no, it's not just Israel is not just violating all international law. They're also violating every single criminal and civil, law and of every country known to man, and maybe if there are countries on other planets as well, if they have laws, Israel is violating those as well. And also, like even small laws, like Israel is violating even traffic laws of every country. Israel is sending agents to every country around the world and driving and crossing red lights and just to making sure that they are in every country on this planet and making sure that every law that every country has on their books, they are violating those as well. In fact, the law is not enough. The law of the countries are not enough. They're even going to apartments and they're looking at the bylaws of those apartments and they're making sure that they're violating those as well. They're going, I don't know, maybe like in Mexico, they're going into this apartment and they're peeing in the pool just to make sure they violate the bylaws of that apartment as well. And anything that is written anywhere in the world as a law or a standard or a moral, rule or anything, they're just making sure. They're Jews, they can't help it. They're going there and violating every single. How about that? Let's just keep going. Can you guys Can you guys do better than this? I don't understand. This is insane. This is so violation of all international laws. They also made sure to just write it on the screen just to make sure that we got that. This level of insanity, they also made sure that they write it on the screen just in case you didn't hear how stupid this doctor is.
Human rights to Gaza for.
Yeah, I mean, even the laws of physics, yes, they are violating. They must be violating the laws of physics if they're this capable of violating every single international law. That's the only way you could do that is to also violate the laws of physics.
16 years before I went there.
Let's go upstairs and chant, free, free the American hostages that were taken by the savages that attacked Israel and committed war crimes on October 7th.
Israel has killed 30,000 people.
Israel has not killed 30,000 people. Hamas has killed 30,000 people. Israel is trying to defend itself. Israel is trying to reduce the civilian casualties, but Hamas is making it impossible. Guys, do not shy away from how high this number is. This number is insanely high, and the murderer of every single one of these people is Hamas. Okay? Every time somebody's telling you how tragic the situation in Gaza is, make sure that you agree with them and tell them this is why I condemn Hamas. The murderer of all these people that are dying in Gaza, is Hamas and also Islamic Jihad and the Islamic Republic of Iran. They are responsible. What's happening in Gaza is a humanitarian crisis. These people are the victims, but they are not the victims of Israel. They are the victims of Hamas, they're the victims of Islamic Jihad, and they are the victims of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Don't you forget that. Don't, as a way to, when you defend Israel, don't minimize the suffering of the people in Gaza. In fact, you should be the one that highlighting them. As a pro-Israeli, you should be first. You should be the first person. You shouldn't even let them to tell you about how bad the situation in Gaza is, because you should say it before them. And then you should condemn the right people for it. Agree with them when they say how horrible the situation in Gaza is. Agree with them and say this is why. And then after that, you have to say this is why we have to defeat Hamas. This is why we should not have ceasefire until we are sure that Hamas will not regain control over Gaza, for the sake of not just Israelis, but for the sake of Palestinians as well. Free Gaza from Hamas. Free Gaza from the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Well, is that not savage, sir?
No, that is savage. What putting civilians in front of missiles to try to make the world anti-Israeli, more anti-Israeli, and to spread anti-Jewish hatred around the world, using your own civilians to do that? Yes, that is savage. What is not savage is Israel going above and beyond any country in the history of warfare in trying to reduce civilian casualties.
You're supporting genocide.
You are supporting genocide, you idiot. The act of genocide was what happened on October 7th. What's happening in Gaza is the response to an attempt of act of genocide. We say no to genocide. That's why we respond to acts of genocide. When somebody tries to do a genocide, you have to respond, and you have to respond strongly. When we say never again, we mean when somebody tries to do genocide, you have to show to the world that there will be a response. It deserves a response. That was October 7th was the genocide. Everything else is just a response to it.
There's a place for you in The Hague.
Yeah, show us evidence. Freaking moron.